Some you can have someone open our lesson with Ruth. Had you prayed?
Not yet.
Okay, so we can have someone give a prayer before we start.
Okay. Marion, we have never heard from you. Please unmute.
So should I start the praying?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's humble ourselves for our prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this wonderful moment. We thank you for our lives, for our teacher. We request for your Holy Spirit to come unto us, to enable us to understand whatever teacher is going to teach us. And we ask for protection in our lives and wisdom. Amen. In Jesus' name I've prayed. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much for that prayer.
Christine, your mic is not open. Christine, have we lost you?
Okay, can you now hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I say that I'm sharing my screen shortly. Okay, where is it? Okay. Ruth, can you see my screen? Ruth, can you hear me? Ruth? Okay, class, can you hear me? Members, can you hear me? I just lost Ruth. Isaac, can you hear me? Your audio is off. Wow. Sharia, can you hear me? Okay, all right. Okay, so I'm happy at least people can hear me. All right, thank you. So now that Ruth is off, Isaac, I don't know whether you can turn your audio on. Now that Ruth is off, I'm seeing you're the co-host. Because Ruth has been helping me with us with the hands and everything and all that. So I hope you can enable your audio so that at least you help me and manage the class. So Isaac, kindly look out for Ruth so that as she comes in, you can give her the host rights. Yes, I'm seeing Isaac Black's audio through. Thank you, Jethro.
Yes, I'm now back.
Okay. All right. So, so we are looking at writing a formal letter. So, maybe what is a formal letter, class? Maybe let me start with that. Or what is a letter? What is a formal letter? What do you understand by the word formal? I know some of you might have done formal letters in your school. Not might have done, actually all of you. But one thing is we just keep forgetting about the format and everything. So if someone can tell me what a formal letter is.
Okay, someone, if I've asked you to unmute, please first introduce yourself and then give your answer.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Your name?
My name is S.4. What I understand by the formal letter, this is a letter that is written to a person, like to an office or someone who works in an office. It is very different from a friendly letter because it has two addresses. It has two addresses. It has the citation that you make is not the same like the one of the friendly letter. That is all I know about the formal letter.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ruth, I think that is it. You can pick one hand because of time.
Okay.
Okay.
Shafiq.
So when we talk about a formal letter, can we have someone read what we have on the screen?
Shafiq. Shafiq is not unmuting. Okay, can we have who is this? Um Queen Esther.
A formal letter or official letter. A formal letter is a professional letter which is written in formal language in a prescribed format and is stipulated in the stipulated format. This branch of letter is written to inform officers, branches, subordinates of official information, usually short as compared to the informal letter.
Okay, thank you so much. So when we look at the formal letter, we are told that it's a professional letter, which is written in a formal language. So the language is very formal. I know as per now, you know what a formal language is, what a formal language is, and it is written in a prescribed format. So there's a specific format that we use when writing the official letter when it comes to the British English, and in a stipulated format. So there's a format that has been stipulated for us to follow while writing a formal letter. So this type of letter is written to inform officers, could be branches, it could be subordinates of official communication. For instance, you're writing to the head teacher, you're writing to your class teacher, you're writing to apply for a job, you're writing to maybe the house mistress to apologize, maybe for doing something. What we do is we use the official letter or the formal letter. It is usually short as compared to the informal letter. We're also going to see something small about the informal letter, but for the formal letter, it's very short, and you don't need to say a lot. You have to be very brief and precise when you're writing a formal letter. Thank you. So those are the different types of formal letters. Could be letter of inquiry, order letter. Maybe you're giving someone an order, letter of complaints, application letters, apology letters, promotion letters, sales letters, recovery letters, etc. Maybe I'll add and say etc because there are so many types of formal letters out there. So anytime you're told to maybe write an apology, or maybe a question comes and you're told that maybe you were found in the dormitory sleeping at the wrong at the wrong time, maybe during night prep, yet you are supposed to be in class. And then maybe the teacher on duty has maybe asked you to explain maybe the reason why you are in dorm when you are supposed to be in class. So then automatically you know that you're supposed to use a formal letter to explain yourself. So even when you're writing a complaint letter, you want to complain about something. So what you do is we use the formal letters because that is formal information. So we are going to look at the format, and in simple terms, the formal letter has a format. So whether we are writing an application letter, whether it is an apology letter, whether it is a letter of inquiry, there is always a format that you're supposed to follow, and we are going to look at it.
Teacher Christine?
Yes, Ruth.
In the chat, Miriam is asking, what of a thank you note? Is it a formal letter?
Also depends. It can be formal or informal, depending on the person that you're writing to. If you're writing maybe a letter to the head teacher of your school to thank her, maybe for giving you, maybe for to thank her, maybe for admitting you to a particular school that you wanted to go. For instance, you wanted to join a school like Ballet SS. And then the head teacher or the head teacher gives you the opportunity to join that school. What you do is you write a formal letter thanking the head teacher. But for instance, it's now Ruth. Maybe Ruth has given you chocolate, and you feel like you want to thank Ruth for giving you that chocolate. You write an informal letter to thank Ruth for that. So because Ruth is a friend of yours, unlike the head teacher, you might be, of course, friends, but you're not of the same level. That is it, Ruth. So that is it. So it can be that it could be a formal or an informal letter, depending on the person that you're writing to. Do you have any other question, Ruth?
No, not really.
Thank you. So we are going straight to the format. And I know someone already mentioned that it has 2 addresses and all that. So we are looking at, the first thing is we have the sender's address. So I hope you're making notes. Please make notes. Because I had like so many people saying, teacher, please letter writing. Teacher, please letter writing. So kindly make the notes so that by the time you go back to school, you know what to do. So we have the sender's address, and the sender's address is always on the right-hand side. It should slant. It should be in small letters, or what we call lowercase, well punctuated. So you make sure that you have punctuated your address very well. And if you choose not to punctuate your letter, you leave it like that. So, but some of you, what you do is, maybe you say, maybe Ruth Namakula, comma, maybe PO Box, dash, comma, Kampala, and then you don't punctuate, you don't put a full stop after Kampala. Then after that you have maybe the date, which is not also punctuated. So you make sure that the sender's address is well punctuated. We are going to see how. And then immediately after the address, you have the date. So the date should be well punctuated. It comes immediately after the sender's address. So here we say that a line can be skipped. No one will penalize you. You can skip a line when you're writing your date after the sender's address, or you can just write your date immediately after the next line after the sender's address. For example, that is how you're supposed to write your date. For instance, 14th December 2024. 14, that TH, please class note that my TH is not up there. Some of you put it up somewhere there, like above 14. But here we are seeing that it's on the same line with the 14. So it is 14th December, 2024, full stop. Many of you forget the full stop, but without the full stop, that is not the right the right format that you're supposed to use when you're writing a letter. I hope that is clear. Okay, so after the sender's address, we've seen we have the date. Then after the date, we have what we call the receiver's address. Could we have someone read for us what we have there?
Ravin, your hand went up first. Ravin, your hand went up first.
Receiver's address. The receiver's address is always on the left-hand side. Do not skip a line. Write it on the next line after the sender's address. Should be in block format. Use small letters. Should be well punctuated.
Thank you so much. So that is it also. In simple terms, when it comes to the receiver's address, make sure that it is always on the left hand. So on the left hand side. And you also don't skip a line. You know, some of you like asking, teacher, do we skip a line after the sender's address? No, don't skip a line. Just after the date, move to the next line on your left, and then start writing the receiver's address. Then it should be in block format. So here we looked at the receiver's address and we said it's slant. But for the sender's address, and we said it's slant. But when it comes to the receiver's address, it is supposed to be in block format. Then you use small letters, like I said. You use small letters also when you're writing the sender's address. And then it should be well punctuated. Okay, Haina, I will receive questions. Next.
In the
Ruth?
chat, there is a question before we have someone to read. Is it from someone was asking? Okay, what Sharia was asking, I think from the second slide, what is a recovery letter?
Sharia, what do you think just from the word recovery?
Sharia, unmute.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sharia.
I think a recovery letter is written when you have lost something. So you get it back.
Come again.
I think a recovery letter is written when you have lost something.
Okay. Okay, when talk about a recovery letter, simply like what she said, in most cases, this letter is written by the seller for the collection of money for the goods supplied to the buyer. So maybe repeat, for instance, you have you supply, for instance, you supply what should I say? You supplied maybe potato, you supplied maybe oranges to an organization. So you write a letter to that organization for them to know that you want your money for the goods that you supplied to them. That is what we call a recovery letter. I'm seeing hands up.
They wanted to read. I don't know if you have a question, please leave your hand up. Imran, do you have a question or you would love to read? Lisa, and then Lizzie, Mwebaze, and Millie. Let me hope your hands are up because you have questions. Okay, Imran, please unmute.
Are you hearing me? Hello?
Hello, please proceed.
Are you hearing me?
Yes.
All I was asking was on the recent screen talking about the salutation. There's somewhere where you talk about that you shouldn't use dear sir or madam. Then I kept on asking myself, what if I'm not sure about the sex of the person I'm sending the letter to?
Okay, we are going to talk about that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. That's from Imran. Even Daniel had the same question in the chat. Mwebaze has gone off. I think it was the same question. Imran, you can lower your hand. Millie.
Okay.
Good,
Okay.
good
So,
afternoon.
okay.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Millie.
I was just inquiring, like on the receiver's address, where you have to put, let's assume,
Millie,
where
please go on.
in case let's say you're writing a letter to the head teacher of a school, and just they like put to the head teacher, or you just put the head teacher.
Okay. Thank you, Millie. So maybe let me answer that before we go very far. Just say the head teacher, for instance, the head teacher, maybe Iganga essays. The head teacher, Iganga essays. You don't need to say to the head teacher, no. Okay, and then I saw, so I'm just going through the chat, and someone was asking, someone was saying I don't know that, Ruth, am I so fast?
Yes, the truth is you're first. So what I'd advise them is that they should just take screenshots so that you can just proceed, since this is not so new to us.
Yeah, and actually it's not new. We're actually just reminding ourselves. Wow. Okay,
Yes.
Kali, I'm going to reduce my speed a little.
And then Safra in the chat is asking that okay, do you skip a line when signing after the conclusion?
We are going to, Hannah, that one has gone so far. You people have not even reached there yet.
Then who else? This Faith is asking, do we write the PO box of the receiver?
Yes, you write it.
Okay, and then Han.
Madam, I wanted to ask, yes, after saying the head teacher, then now do you skip a line or you continue with the head teacher Iganga SS, or you save the head teacher and then you come down to the next line, then you'll be like Iganga SS?
Okay, thank you. So you don't skip any line. Skipping line. For instance, you say the head teacher, Iganga says PO box, you put the number, then say Iganga. So you don't skip lines. Can I
Then
maybe
a
let's have
question
one more before I continue with I was sharing my screen.
Safra, you can as well type your question in the chat. Who Imran says, how do we use capital letters in our addresses? Then Deogracious is saying, if you don't know the exact PO box of the receiver, what do you do? Then lastly, from Tina, why don't we write dear sir or madam in case you're not sure of the gender? Okay, then from Martha, is it right to write
Ruth,
the date?
hold on. Ruth, hold on. Let me first answer some. So about the salutation, I'm going to go through that. So if you don't know the address of the person you're writing to, kindly find out the address. Imagine you're writing a letter to apologize, yet you don't know the address of the person you're apologizing to. You're writing an application letter, yet you don't know the address of the person or the company you're writing the letter to. So it's important to first find out the address before writing that letter. And then the other question, okay, now Ruth, you can continue.
Okay, there are three more. Martha is asking, is it right to write the date in a slanting position? And
No.
then, okay, then Topista, what if all the addresses are put in capital letters?
Wrong format. No, you will not get a mark for format for that particular address you not get a mark for it.
And then Brenda is asking, Okay, Manangi. Brenda is going. She's asking you to teach how to write a CV, application letter, and letter of complaint. After, that is after.
My goodness. People, okay. We shall talk at the end. Okay, let me share my screen again.
Katrina, I would love to see a sample of a letter, of that letter.
Okay. Tell her to relax.
Shiva, after writing the date, can we skip a line? Then Rina, why do we use dear, stars if you are not sure of the gender? Let me stop there for now.
Okay. Ruth, let me continue. The others will come. Like now, some people are asking about salutation, yet I have not yet talked about it. So when it comes to salutation, you can use, for instance, dear Mrs., whatever person you're writing, dear Mr., dear Miss, the person you're writing to. And then, or you can say dear sir. Why we say don't use dear sir or madam, it is not okay. When it comes to the format of writing a letter, we advise you that if you don't know about the gender of the person you're writing to, just stick to dear sir. Why we don't use dear madam is because some people find the word madam offensive. When you go to the dictionary, you'll find out that I don't know anyone with a dictionary there. If you have a dictionary, kindly look for the meaning of the word madam. And then after that, you put up your hand and Ruth will pick you. So that is why we don't use. So some people find the word madam offensive. And when you address them as madam, they get very annoyed. Yes. So just stick to dear, the name of the person, or you say dear sir. So meanwhile, as the person looks for the word, the meaning of that word, madam, we can continue. So then after that, so like for instance, you say, dear Mrs. Chelangat Christine, you put a comma at the end. As you can see, mine has a comma. Dear sir, after that there is a comma. So, but now some of you just say dear sir and you don't punctuate your salutation. So you need to punctuate the salutation. Okay. Then after salutation, we have something called the reference. So let me just edit something here.
Teacher, as you edit, in the chat, there are questions
Yes.
and there are hands up. Who London is asking if a question comes in your name, how do you find the address? Like it comes in your name and they have not given you probably the receiver's address. How do you find it?
They will give you an address.
Okay, then Imelda Ben, do we write P.O. box? Okay, he has P.O.box. And I don't
Yes,
know,
that's what you write.
He has joined them, so there is space after the last dot.
Okay,
Then
but Ruth, they should note that at the end of it all, I am going to show them a sample letter, so they should be patient.
Okay. Then Faith is saying, but she thought the word Mrs. is for a married person. MRS.
Yes.
Okay. Then Travel Paul says she has found the meaning of madam.
Okay.
How?
So according to the dictionary, I'm using 8th edition. It has 3 meanings. The first meaning is that it's used when speaking or writing to a woman in a formal or business letter. And then meaning number 2, it's a girl or young woman who expects other people to do what she wants. And then meaning number 3, it's a woman who is in charge of prostitutes in a brothel.
Yes. So that is it. Yeah. So some people find that word madam in a way that they feel that word madam is someone who is in charge of prostitutes. And and other people say that that word madam. Okay, like for instance, when someone is okay, I don't want to, anyway, let me not talk about it, but what should I talk about it? No, let's stick to that. Some people think that when someone refers you to a madam, they're referring you to maybe a prostitute, they're referring to you as maybe someone who is I don't know what you know, who is a side dish. I don't know, I know you know what I mean. So that word madam, some people find it very offensive. So that is why we advise you students that in case you're not sure about the name of the person you're writing to, you just say dear sir, because you're not sure about the gender. So that is the reason. So that was the date. Okay, then after that we have what we call the reference. So the reference should be in capital letters and not underlined. The reference should be in capital letters and not underlined. For example, I even have an example there. R-E, so you use R-E. So the R should be capital, and then the E small. Then you have that colon or the full colon. For some of you say that is the full colon. Then application for a job as a doctor. And you can see that it is in capital letters and not underlined. So what some of you do is you write that in capital letters and then after that you underline. That is what we call double punctuation. So if you want to underline it, you make sure that you're writing it in small letters or in lowercase. But the only problem with lowercase is at times you might forget to capitalize the keywords in the reference. So we encourage students to stick to uppercase. And then after that, you don't underline. I hope that is clear. So after the reference, you go straight to your introduction. Could
Teacher,
someone
in
read
the
for us
chat,
what we have? Yes.
for the previous slide, in the chat, Faith is asking, don't we put a full stop?
For a full stop for?
On the reference.
Hello? Good.
On the reference.
Oh, no, you don't need to put a full stop. You don't need to put a full stop.
And then Maria is asking, can the reference be in small letters and underlined?
Yes, I said it. You can use small letters, underline it, but to make sure that you capitalize the key points in that reference. But we discourage, because sometimes students forget to capitalize the key points or to start the keywords. Okay, they forget to start the keywords.
With capital letter.
Yeah, in capital letters, yes.
Okay. Topista is asking, may you please give the sample of the reference that is underlined? Then, but teacher, someone is complaining about your font, Kathy. But teacher, I thought that the capital J should have a bar at the top.
The capital J. What J?
That one, job.
Should have a what?
A bar on top.
Banana, okay. Okay, we can ignore some of those things, some of those comments or questions.
Okay, then Samsung, someone is called that. If I've asked you to unmute, please introduce yourself, your name. Samsung SM, please unmute. Okay, they failed to unmute. Linda?
Yes, I wanted to just wait for the teacher, if you don't mind.
Okay, before you read, teacher, in the chat, Martha is asking, can the read be underlined or?
Can the?
Christine, have you heard?
Ruth, what can the what be underlined?
That R-E.
Yes. Can it be
Okay.
underlined? So when you're underlining, please don't underline the RE. Just underline the reference itself. That is if it's in small letters. So the reason why someone has mentioned that if I can provide a reference with small letters, the reason why I don't want is because I discourage my students against using small letters when writing their address. So when writing their reference, I encourage all of you to only stick to capital letters. Okay, so someone wanted to read.
Linda?
Yeah. Introduction. The first paragraph should be the introduction. Clearly state the reason for writing. It should be indented.
Okay, thank you so much. So the introduction is, we are told that the first paragraph should be the introduction. Clearly state the reason for writing, and it should be indented. I know that in your schools, your teachers have told you that whenever you're writing, when it comes to writing, your paragraphs must be indented because we are using the British English. But when it comes to the American English, that is where you skip lines. But if you skip lines, you don't get a mark for the format. Like, you know what, I know as your teachers have been marking, you've been seeing F, they'll give you F1, F2, F3, depending on how you're writing the format. So kindly stick to indented paragraphs for you to be able to get that mark for format under paragraphs. Okay, so that is the introduction. We are going to see a sample later and see how these things work hand in hand. So after that, we have someone read?
As we get the people to read, there are really many. Deborah, you raise your hand and ask your question. She has a question that I don't really understand. Shafiq, when I ask you to unmute, you don't unmute. Shafiq, please unmute. Okay, now speak.
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good
I'm
afternoon.
going to read some reading, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, you're kind of not clear. Please be louder.
Yeah. What about right now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So I'm reading, right?
Mm.
So body. The body should entail your detail, e.g., qualification, experience, why you think you are the best candidate for a job, etc. Don't forget to indent your paragraph.
Okay, thank you so much. So when it comes to the body, here you put now the details. And that, as he has read, you can write your qualification, your experience, maybe why you think you're the best candidate for that job. And then you don't forget to also indent your paragraph. So the paragraph should be indented. Actually, when it comes to the formal letter, you can have only 3 paragraphs for introduction, the body, and conclusion. You don't need to be so wordy when it comes to expressing yourself. because you know how big people don't have time to read so many things. So imagine they have like over 100 applications to read. And then for you, they are saying a lot of nothing, starting with praise the Lord. How are you? How was your night? Like, you know, so they don't have that time. Okay. Then after the body, we have the conclusion. Can you have someone read that?
Tina?
Conclusion. You conclude by promising to do your best if given an opportunity. E.g., I look forward to working with your company.
Okay. Thank you. So you conclude by promising to do your best if given an opportunity in that company. So there are so many ways that you can conclude. But the first one is you can say, I look forward to working with your company. I am happy that, okay, or maybe I promise to do my best if given the opportunity to work with your company. So depending, on what you're writing, okay, so depending on what you're writing, you can you look for a way of concluding your letter. And then after the conclusion, we have signing off. So could someone read for us what we have on the screen?
Okay. Someone who really reads it's who? Aziha.
Water.
Signing off. Sign off at the right-hand side, e.g., if you had mentioned the name of the person during salutation, use yours sincerely. If you had used dear sir, use yours faithfully. Only the first letter should be capitalized. Punctuate it well.
Okay, thank you so much. So when signing off, class, is you sign off at the right-hand side. But some of you come to your right-hand side, right to the left-hand side and start signing off. Who taught you that format? So then if you had mentioned the name of the person during salutation, for instance, you said, dear Mrs. Chelangat Christine, use yours sincerely, comma. I repeat, if you had mentioned the name of the person during salutation, you use yours sincerely. Then after that, comma. And you can see that the only thing I have capitalized there is the Y. The rest are in small letters. And then, if you had used dear sir, use yours faithfully. I repeat, if you had used dear sir, use yours faithfully, comma. I hope you people are getting. So you can also see that what I have capitalized there is only the Y. The other things are in lowercase. Then only the first letter should be capitalized, and that is the Y. And then after that, you also punctuate it well. Punctuating it well means that you put a comma at the end of yours faithfully or yours sincerely. Okay, Ruth, do we have any questions in the chat before I go to something else?
From Marion, isn't there any other option except yours sincerely?
So we have yours sincerely or yours faithfully when you're signing off. That is when you're signing off in an official letter or in a formal letter. Those are the two things that we use. Any
Okay,
other question?
then Slivia. From Slivia Avoli. Okay. Am I clear?
Yes, you're clear.
Slivia Avoli says, is signing supposed to be on the left-hand side?
What have I
I
said?
don't
You
know
can
if this is
answer
the
her.
screen. Signing supposed to be on the left-hand side or right-hand side?
Ruth, you can answer
Okay,
that.
then should we write a signature? What of signature and name, are they necessary? Those are the question.
Let me see. Okay. Yeah, good question. That is a good one because I actually forgot to include it there. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, so let me answer that. But I have said that even you can even see on the screen, I said sign no at the right hand side. And imagine you're asking the same question. Panange, be serious. So so you say, for instance, you say yours sincerely, then after that you write your name in small letters if you don't have a signature. So write your name in small letters, then your name in capital letters. I actually forgot, I needed to have included that. So your name in small letters, then after that, your name in capital letters. Then if, depending on what you're writing, for instance, you're writing an apology letter, you can put your title there. For example, a student for blue. I don't know whether you have 4 North, 4 East, 4 E, 4 S. So you write, I repeat, you say yours sincerely, your name in small letters, or what we say, your name you give your signature, and then after that, your name in capital letters, then you can put your title, depending on what you are writing. For instance, it is a recovery letter. You can say, you put your name, and then you say sales manager, or maybe CEO, depending on who you are. So it also depends. Like, for instance, when you're writing an application letter, you don't need to put your title because you'd have already described yourself in the body and the person would already have known who you are. So you don't need to put the title. So there are cases that will need you to put the title for the person to know who you are. Any other question, Ruth?
Linda is just from asking, I think the question you've replied. Can you put your position in school?
Okay, so Ruth, what have
Do you
I
answer
said?
that, teacher?
What have I said, Ruth?
You've said it depends. You've said that it depends on the question. Either you put or you don't put. If it's not mentioned in the question, then you don't put it.
Okay,
I don't know if I
thank you.
got you well.
Yes, I said it depends on the type of letter that you're writing. So there are different types of formal letters that will require you to write the title. For example, when you're writing an apology letter, maybe you're writing a recovery letter, an inquiry letter. There are letters that will want you to put your title, but other letters will not require you to put your title. For example, when you're writing an application letter, there's no need for you to, you're applying for a job. You've already described yourself in the body, so there's no need for you to put the title because the person will already know who you are. Okay. Let me just go
Then
through
because
this. Yes.
okay, because who Martha, should the position be in small letters or capital letters?
Should be
Tony, in the conclusion
in
between
small
the name and the
letters.
signature, which one comes
Tiny.
first?
Kindly. Okay, I said for
Pardon?
okay,
Your
we are
network
going.
is not clear.
Am I clear? Ruth, can you hear me?
Yes, now you're clear.
Okay, I was saying, I said that after saying yours sincerely, your name in small letters, or your signature, then after that you give your name in capital letters, then your title. The title should be in small letters. For example, you say a student 3B, a student 4B, a student 4B. So in small letters. So then what you should note is that you should pay attention to language. So I know that as we mark, as I don't know maybe whether you saw this, but your teachers have been drawing a table in your script, and then they have F for format, then they have C for content, and then they have the T, they have the P, the SP for language. So language has tense, language has punctuation, language tense construction, vocabulary, impression, idioms, and so on, depending on what your teachers will tell you. So that is language. So pay attention to language. You make sure that you're writing using the correct tense. Are you punctuating your work well? Do you put a full stop where you're supposed to put a full stop? Are your spellings right? Are your sentences well constructed? Are you using a variety of sentences? When I talk about a variety of sentences, you've studied compound words. You have looked at use of direct and indirect speech. You have looked at result clauses and so on. So are you applying those things correctly? And then after that, we go to vocabulary. Are you putting in some new words? Are you using some similes? Are you using similes will come under impression? Okay. Are you using some new words? New words, like for example, when you talk about maybe okay, new words. Look for words that will make your teacher maybe go into the dictionary to look for the meaning of that word. Someone talking about, just instead of just saying you're surprised, you can talk about being amazed, being astonished. You can talk about being dumbfounded. You can talk about being, and so many other things. Impression will look at description. Are you describing are you describing yourself well? Who are you? Are you describing your qualifications well? Are you using similes? Then we look at idioms. So I hope that all of you know what idioms are, and that you've looked at idioms in your different schools. So all these things fall under language. And then also make sure that you always have the correct format when you're writing the letter. Okay. So this is the assignment that I am leaving you with. Can we have someone read for us that assignment?
Edward Sanders going down. Okay. Eva. Edward, I ask you to unmute. Please unmute. Okay, Eva.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Assignment. Having completed university
Yes.
with a bachelor's degree in medicine and surgery, you have been looking for a job as medical worker. On 11th December 2023, the Ministry of Health advertised jobs for medical workers to work in Cure Hospital. Write to the human resource clearly stating the reasons why you are the best candidate to work in the hospital.
Okay, thank you so much. So class, that is the assignment that I'm leaving you with. But before that, let me just stop sharing. Maybe let me give you like 5 minutes to copy down that assignment. And then after that, I will show you a sample formal letter. And then we see how the addresses are working and all that. So you have like 5 minutes to. Ruth, do you think 5 minutes? Actually, 3 minutes.
I'm here.
Or you can take screenshot.
Edward said he had a question. Edward?
Yes. Hello.
Edward?
Yes, Edward.
Yes. Good
You're
afternoon.
unmuted, so please. Edward, you wanted to ask a question. I think Edward will type in the chat so that we save time. Honey, your hand remained up. Do you have a question? Okay. In the chat, what was that? Was it Douglas? Douglas was asking, what of metaphors? Can they be used just as you can also use idioms?
Yes, they can be used very well. You get the mark for impression.
Then Deborah is asking, is it okay to real sign, or it's a must to use your real name in small letters as she signs? Is it okay to real sign, or it's a must to use your real name but in small letters during the signing off?
You can use either. You can either use your name in small letters or you can sign. Any can do.
Robin, your hand is up.
Thank you. My question is to the teacher, like for the notes about some of the writing styles, like what we can put to impress someone while writing the letter. You talked of the metaphors, idioms, and what. But I was asking, since this is a formal letter, don't you think someone can go astray with the writing and then you put something that has not come out, all like they cross me for have not, all like they penalize me for not putting any of those language like
Yes. So if you don't put, they will penalize. Okay, no one will penalize you, but the only thing is you'll not get the mark. If it is vocabulary, you'll not get any mark. If it's impression, you might not get any mark. So you use them, but not so. Like for instance, you're maybe applying for a job, and you say that if you give me that job, I will work as fast as a B. That is a simple one, and the person really reading your letter can understand that. Yes, and you're not using so much. You're not using so many words, because at the same time you're looking at an official letter being very brief and precise. So you can pick maybe 2 similes or a metaphor, or I will work like a bee. You talk about maybe that I am a potential candidate for this preposition, like at least look for, you can use like maybe 2 vocabularies, maybe look for a simile so that you're able to get the mark on impression, and at the same time get a mark for vocabulary, because we look at that when we are marking. Actually, the reason why many people fail writing is because they don't impress the examiner or the person marking. So you need to impress the person marking by using idioms, use sayings. Like last week I said that you go home and like you go back and research on sayings on leadership. Those are things that will aid you or will help you when you're writing. So if you're just there and you're using your normal the simple English and all that, you'll still get the mark for other things like spelling, maybe sentence construction, but there are some marks that you will not be able to get. Okay. Any other question, Ruth?
Okay. Uh,
I believe they are done with the assignment.
Yes, they are. Imelda is asking, when signing off, does your name begin with a capital letter, then the rest in small letters, or no?
When does your name begin with capital letter and then rest? No, your name should be in capital letters, the whole name. Like for example, Ruth Namakula in capital letters. The only thing that should be in small letters is the signature.
Okay. Wait, someone in the chat had a question. There is someone, was it Edward? Edward's question is missing here. Okay, he's asking, you said that in an apology letter you should put your title at school. Now my question is, what if you don't have any title at school? Let's mean you are just an ordinary student, not even a prefect or a small.
Okay, thank you, Ruth. Maybe no, when I talk about title, I'm not saying maybe a prefect. Like for instance, you're writing an apology letter to maybe your house mistress for maybe not attending prep. You just say a student S4 B. That is what I mean by the title. You're a student, not just a student, but your class is S4 B, or your stream is S4 B. Not that necessarily a prefect or what, no. Okay, so let me see whether there's let me look for a sample. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen. Let me just try and see whether I can rotate my screen. Where am I going? Sample. Oh, no. Just go back. Tap to the wrong thing. Yes, that is it. I thought I would be able to rotate my screen, but I am not. Oh. Let me go to rotating. Rotating, where are you? Rotate. Okay, So I was trying to rotate my phone so you can see up to the year. So that is the first. Ruth, can you see the screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So up to there, we have the first address and the second address. And you can clearly see that I have there Christine Watima, comma, P dot O dot box 1412, comma, Kampala. Then there is a full stop after Kampala. Then after that, I write my date, but I make sure that my date is on the same line as as my name up, like for Christine. You see, it's the same line. So your date and your date and the name should start on the same line after the other things, slanting. 14th June, comma, 2022, full stop. And then you can clearly see that the second address has the human resource, comma, friends consult, limited, comma, P.O. box, that number, comma, Kampala, full stop. And then I have dear sir, comma. Then after that, oh, sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but I went off. Let me just share that again. Screen now. Okay, so we're looking at the reference. So we have the RE, then comma, application for an internship opportunity. So, Ruth, can I have someone read? Let me first just do that. So people, I hope you've seen that. I know I am a bit fast. Let me just go back. I hope you've seen that, how the address is well punctuated. Okay. Then the reference.
Teacher, I have a question before reading. I don't know, as I've been on and off, I don't know if I'm asking already what you replied, but the reference, should it be indebted? Okay, in our school they told us, at our school they told us that it should come after the word RE, sorry, the abbreviation RE should come after, immediately below the comma.
Yeah, so okay, so some people will tell you that the word RE comes after the comma of dear sir. That is what some people will say. But there's no harm also in you just starting your RE from the margin. No one will penalize you. No one will penalize you for that.
Okay, we're going to have
Yeah.
people read one paragraph because the hands are very many. Now,
Okay, it is well.
Priva, from Priva, you prepare yourself. Priva, then Ketra, then Geraldine. And then we shall have a boy. London, I don't know whether London is a boy. Priva Nahwera.
Okay, I hereby apply for an internship opportunity as a software engineer, which was advertised on Google on LinkedIn. I believe that my educational background and freelancing experience make me a highly competitive candidate for this position.
Okay, Ketra, please unmute. As Geraldine prepares, then Shafiq.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Ketra,
Hello.
please go on. Ketra, we are hearing you.
Okay. For the past 2 years, I have gained hands-on experience in coding and programming, providing solutions in database technology and testing applications. My main responsibility is collaborating with a US-based team to develop 4 new websites that serve 2.5 million users per month. The best accomplishment I have achieved is building and implementing an automated bug tracking system, resulting in a 25% reduction in issues reported in the later stages of development.
Thank you, Ketra. Geraldine. Geraldine. As Shafiq prepares, then Aloysius. Aloysius, your hand has gone down. But
The
prepare to
document
read.
The documents attached are my resume and work portfolio. I look forward to learning more about the software engineering internship program at your company. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Okay. Then lastly, sorry, Shafiq, we shall have Aloysius read. Aloysius has gone off. Yes, Shafiq. Lastly.
Faithfully, signature, name in capital letters.
Okay, thank you so much for reading. So that is a sample. This is an application letter, but it's a sample formal letter. The format remains. The only thing that changes is the content. The content in terms of maybe an apology letter, recovery letter, complaint letter, invitation letter, and so on. So you can clearly see that we had seen the addresses and then the reference, but like I said, with the reference, some people will tell you, let me just do this. What Ruth was saying was that you can start from, yes, that is I think after the comma. Yes, which is also fine. This is also okay. No one will penalize you for that, and no one will also penalize you for starting at the margin. And then you have the introduction. The introduction, this person is actually introducing herself and says that she's applying for an internship opportunity, which was advertised. So you can see she's giving an introduction of why she's writing. And then after that, we are seeing that she's giving her experience, what she has done and what she's able to do. And then after that, we are seeing that she's even saying that her documents have been attached. A resume is what someone was talking about, a CV, and a work portfolio, or the type or the different works that she has been able to do, different works that she has been able to do. And then she's saying that I look forward to learning more about software engineering internship program at your company. You know, she's already even very positive that she's going to get the opportunity to do internship there. And thank you for your time and consideration. Then after that, we are seeing the signing off, because we used Dear Sir. Like we said, when you use Dear Sir, you use yours faithfully, comma, your signature, and then your name in capital letters. So that is a sample. So you can take screenshots. Maybe let me just do this. Let me first remove auto-rotate. Auto-rotate, yeah. So you can take some screenshots for future reference. Yeah, that is it. So let me just stop sharing my screen and I get questions from you people. I just want to pick 2 questions and then we call it a day.
Okay, from the chat, before Dorothy. Oh, Dorothy, okay. Pepista says, she's asking, can one start writing the introduction from the margin? As If it's questions, Banang.
No, please tell her that we indent our paragraphs when
Then,
it comes to Uganda. Uganda, actually, any British colonized country indent their paragraphs. So kindly indent your paragraphs.
okay, then Imelda Ben, for the signature, should it begin with a capital letter or all are in small letters?
Either. All are in small letters.
Mark is asking me that all not, she hopes that the notes shall be sent.
She hopes that?
He hopes that the notes shall be sent on the group.
Ask him to request.
Okay. He has heard. If I've asked you to unmute, kindly introduce yourself, your name, please, and then you can ask your question. Your name? Yeah, they failed to unmute. Okay, just an update. Samsung, Martha, please don't send your phone numbers openly like that directly to everyone. Kindly direct message so that you're added to the group, or just tap on the WhatsApp group link like Candy has done. Then Ketra, your question. If you know your username is iPhone, please type your question in the chat. We'll not be able to
Hello, can
select
you
you
hear me?
because you're not using your name.
Hello? Hello?
Ketra,
Can
please
you
be
hear
a
me?
little louder.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello,
Ketra.
please proceed. Yes, please just
Madam
add on your
Christie,
volume.
at our school about the signature, our teacher had told us to write it at the left side. Is it correct, or?
At the left side?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know about your school, but I think majority of the people here will say that their teachers told them that their signature is supposed to be where? At the right hand side, where the sender's address is. That is where you're supposed to sign off from. Maybe you can go, you didn't maybe pick the teacher very well. Maybe as you go back next term, you can get clarification from your teacher.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Ketra.
Okay. Ketra, please mute. Thank you. Tapista, your question. Tapista, unmute.
Okay, if she's failing to unmute, maybe Ruth, we can have. Okay, maybe let me say that thank you so much, class, for attending the lesson today. You've been a very vibrant class, and I hope that you have picked something from this lesson. And I'm also happy that at least I'm that I'm being of help to someone out there. So thank you so much for attending, and thank you for paying attention and concentrating. I hope you took notes. Douglas, your hand is up.
Douglas's hand is up. Let me see. Douglas, your question was here. He asked, okay, please unmute and ask your question. I'm sorry I didn't air it out.
Teacher, are we to use digits in the letter?
Huh?
Are we supposed to use digits in the letter?
Which digits?
To use digits.
How?
Like it's a phone number.
Yes,
For
you can put
example,
you can put your phone number that maybe for any inquiry, feel free to call. You can put your number there. It's okay.
no, that's not what I meant. I was meaning, like, for example, you use 25 million in the in the letter 8 it was in digit form.
If it was what?
You used 25 million in the letter 8, it was in digit form. So I was
Oh, yeah, it
asking
is
whether we
okay.
are
It is
supposed.
okay. It is okay. You're using figures. Yes, you can use figures.
Okay.
Yes.
Then let me see in the chat. Angel, I requested you don't send your phone number direct so that you keep your personal details private. Okay.
Okay. So Ruth, I'm seeing iPhone's number. She's saying that please share the slides and thanks. So I have, because my phone is about to black out. Then someone says we were taught that any form of writing in English should have a title. Very true. It should have a title. But on a letter, the title itself is the address. You have the reference, which is the title. So true. Okay, so thank you so much. So kindly take care of yourselves as you're out there. There are so many evil things happening. I will not forget to remind you to take care of yourself. Ladies, protect your bodies because your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit and it's also the temple of God. And also, don't forget to help your parents at home doing housework. Even the boys, you people, I hope you do housework at home. And in case you're going through any mental challenge, mental problem, kindly don't keep quiet. Look out for someone to talk to. Don't be there and okay, don't die from the inside. Yet people think you're okay. So it's not good. We still need you. You still have a lot to do in this country. You have a very big role to play in this country. So take care of yourself. Get someone to talk to. Talk to your mother. Talk to your father. Talk to your siblings. If you're scared of your parents, don't just keep quiet. So otherwise, I wish you the best, and may God bless all of you. And my regards to your families. Kale, can we have someone give us a closing prayer? Could we have Lizzie? Lizzie?
Lizzie, unmute.
Dear Lord, okay, guys, humble yourselves. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for the teacher that you brought to teach us, guide us and protect us, O Lord Father, and help us understand, and help us, Lord Father, not to forget whatever we have studied, O Lord Father. May you continue blessing us throughout this holiday before we go back to school. In Jesus' name we have prayed.
Amen. Thank you so much, Lizzie, for the wonderful prayer. Bye, students. See you.